Good morning, and welcome to another adventure Stringman Guitars in the underground lair. Today we have a Gibson case, and inside that Gibson case we have a black Les Paul shaped item. I'm going up here doing the flyover. It's an Elite Firefly guitar. Not seen one of these yet. I've seen them on the Amazon, but I've not seen them in person. I had a couple Harley Bentons a few weeks ago, and now I've got Firefly. Old hardware. Les Paul-y like looking. It's got a little dirty stuff from, I guess, sitting. But yeah, looks like somebody's been in there with the wrong set of screwdrivers. Just take a couple of measurements of where we're at to start with. And back binding. It's got knockoff Grover tuners, and you can clean up the front ends a little bit. They're not bad. Let's check our relief first. When you check the relief on a Gibson wants you to check it at the 12th fret. So actually, while we're at it, hold on. Let's make sure it's a Gibson scale. It is a Gibson scale. So Gibson scale, Gibson wants, there should be 20 thousandths of relief, or not relief, but clearance at the first nut. And we have that there on the low E, and we have it on the high E. So we cut the nut right. And I read online that they actually use a bone nut, but it looks plastic to me. String height. Gibson wants 5/64 at the 12th fret, and this is 6/64, and they want 3/64 at the on the high E at the 12th fret, and this one is 8/64. So it's going to come down a ways. Relief on a Gibson scale type thing is 0.010. You hold at the body joint at the 7th fret, and we have more than that. So there'll be a truss rod adjustment, but I'm not sure if these are the same. These might be, I'm not sure if these are the stock strings. This wacky string mixture may cause differences, so I'm not even going to worry about that until we get the new strings on. Let's see here, let's look at our fret situation here. There's just a couple that look sharp. We use this file here that has, there's a safe edge there, a non-safe edge there, and a file on both sides. So you rest the straight, let me find a fret that I want to work on. There we go. You rest the safe side against the fingerboard and just round it over. have it. Nice, nice, nice. There's another one. I can't believe that for the price I paid for a kit guitar, you can get a kit guitar basically that's already assembled. Here's another sharp thread. Not bad at all. Okay, so I'm going to tape up the fingerboard and we're going to clean up the frets with some micro mesh. I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, we've got a mirror finish on the frets. All the sharp ends are gone. And just to polish it up, I'm going to go down the edge here with some micro mesh. It's 2400. That's just to clear the burrs. It's really not enough to do anything to the plastic at all because it's such a fine grit. Go. A little bit of metal taken off, and that's just from what was in between filings. Now it feels just absolutely beautiful. Okay, yeah, anytime you use a driver to move these, you want to either put a rag over it or a piece of elastic. I've got this surgical tubing that comes in handy for all kind of different tricks when you don't have 6 hands. One other thing you do every time you change the strings, you come along here and you snug up your bushings. You don't want to crank them down, you just want to snug them down. Keep stuff from rattling, you know. Okay, flyover time for the Firefly. It appears that the rosewood has a bit of a treatment on it, but I am going to put some F1 stuff on there. But you see how pretty them frets look now? All shined up. One thing about black guitars, every little hazing or shadow or scratch you see, it just comes right out. Like this whole area here, in between here, was just dusty because you can't get in there when the strings are on there. And you wipe it down and you see, oh, there's a couple scratches in there. There's like some areas where the buffing didn't really take too well here on the edge. The camera's really not picking it up. I'm just being super picky. Okay, we have the string height to where we want it, and like I said, we're going to allow it to acclimate. I've stretched the strings in several times. I know these super thick ones are going to be a pain, and the unwound strings don't stretch much. So I'm going to suggest to Buddy that he invest in a set of good Grovers. It'll just drop right in here, and be a whole lot easier to deal with. Because each little crank, it feels like a little kick, 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 kick. So that's it for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. And we had time for this to acclimate and all that stuff. Alright, everything that was set at Gibson specs, because it's a 24.5-inch scale, because of the heavier strings, it buzzes everywhere. So I raised up the action a little bit and gave it about 13 thousandths of a relief instead of 12. And the buzzing is not nearly as bad. I suspect there's some high frets. Certainly playable through an amplifier, you're never going to hear it. The high E starts to buzz out there, and that's because of high frets. I've got it supposed to be at 4/64ths, and I've got it at 5/64ths at the 12th fret. Yeah, I've got it at 5/64ths, and I don't want to make it unplayable where you have to work too hard. So this thing's going to, ultimately, it should have a fret level and crown. But it depends on what the customer wants. If the customer likes it the way, the slinky feel that it has, and typically with this tuning, you're probably going to be playing a lot of distorted stuff with a bunch of effects in it. You're never going to hear the buzzing. So we're going to move on to the intonation here. Let me just make sure that it's in tune. Okie dokie, everybody. You see where our saddles are? A little funky. Doesn't look like intonation. But everything except for the B string that we're tuning to E is intonated. But I'm out of space. It won't go back anymore. So we've got that string flopping in the breeze, and I have to flip the saddle. Well, if I take it all the way back to the point where it's ready to fall off the screw, I'm going to give it one more try. I really dislike these tuners. Okay. Hey, we got it. It's an E there. And it's an E there. Okay, so our E is in, what we're calling E. Let's just check the rest of them. See where our A is. A is in. D's in. G's in. C. C is in. E is in. A is in. Wahoo! So what I found was, if I didn't say that earlier in the video, I'm not thinking like this is 6 strings of a 7-string guitar, tuned down one step. I'm thinking of a 6-string guitar. So when you have thicker strings, you're going to want a little bit more relief, because when I set it to the Gibson spec, which is 12 thousandths of relief, buzzed up and down. Okay, set it to 13,000 and it didn't buzz and there's a little bit of buzz, but you're not going to hear it through an amp. The frets certainly could be leveled and re-crowned, but I think he's good here. And also because of the ellipse of the string, that's like you got a string, and when you got it pointed here, or 2 contact points here, and you pluck it in the middle, it becomes a, the middle part is the biggest vibration. So you need a little bit more string height than what you would ordinarily have. So we did that. We have 6 64s down to 5 64s, and there is, like I said, a little bit of string buzz. But nothing I'd be bent out of shape out of. Nothing that affects your sustain. So, yeah, man, we're just gonna let this sit, and it's basically done, other than putting the truss rod cover back on and getting rid of the loose strings. But I have learned over the years that you never, ever, ever cut them off until you're done. Oh, we got to do pickup height. I'm sorry. Pickup height is good there. Pickup height could come up here. Okay, so from the back to the front, what did we do? Well, we adjusted our height here so that the big fat strings tuned to step down will not buzz. We made sure on a tune-o-matic bridge that the back of the string does not touch the back of the bridge, because that will kill your sustain. We adjusted our pickup height. We adjusted our relief, once again because there's a bigger rotation of the string when you pluck it in the middle, you're going to get string buzz. So we changed or varied from our 12 thousandths of relief at the 7th fret, went to 13, and also string height up 1/64 from factory spec, and everything works fine. We tightened the bushings on the tuners, and just going to clean it up here, cut the strings off, and we're calling this done. So I want to thank everybody for joining us here in the underground lair at Stringman Guitars, and if you could subscribe and like our channel on Facebook, that'd be awesome. Please, COVID cases are rising. People are starting to get freaked out. Take a look in on your neighbor. Call your parents, call your kids, call your whoever, your friends. Check up on people that are in your circle and make sure everybody's doing fine. If you're out somewhere, don't if you don't have to. But be nice. Somebody comes up at the traffic light at the same time, let them go before you. Just being nice right now is an awesome thing to do. So, peace everybody. Have a great day.